dark and stormy night. For whom the bell tolls. Into the woods we go. So since the pandemic of 2020, there was a rapid rise in a lot of gear companies that popped up. Of course, as everybody has gone back to work over the last 2 years, a lot of those companies have been faltering. So there have been a bit of shakeups with companies going under, people retiring, selling off their businesses to other companies, some of them getting bought out by foreign interests, and then the rise of the Chinese gear companies. Oh dear, oh dear. So I found out in the past few months that a couple of my favorite gear companies have gone the way of the dodo. Waymark Gear is no longer. They had some issues, probably more issues than Sports Illustrated, but that led to their demise. Appalachian Gear Company. I love their hoodies. I love their little wool beanies. Everything they make is out of alpaca wool. They recently went under. Now, the prices were a little hefty at times, but they're a small company. They were trying to do the right environmental model, but ultimately it's hard to sustain some business models. And even earlier in the pandemic, little companies like Waymark Gear out of the Seattle, Portland area, they went under. For a variety of reasons, it's hard for small companies to stay afloat. Some of them grow, some of them don't. There's a lot of innovation in small gear companies, and that's where a lot of the features that end up in a lot of commercial products end up coming from are from smaller, innovative vendors. Now, a lot of people go the cheap route these days and buy things off Amazon. And I get it, you want to save a buck. Nothing wrong with that. But you got to remember, where's your money going to? What kind of quality and materials are going into the products that are being built out of China? Some are okay, some are garbage. Likewise, talk about gear companies in America. Some of them have fairly good value. Some of them are a little overpriced and a little too hippie trendy, and you got to try to find the right value for what works for your needs. Arc'teryx and Moose Jaw, what have you become? Appalachian Gear Company, taken from us way too early. Waymark Gear, gone but not forgotten. Even beloved companies like Eureka, who are now owned by Johnson Outdoors, are going out of business. They used to make some really quality camp tents and stoves. Don Cavellis of Four Dog Stove Company recently retired, and one of his helpers started A Metal Works. A lot of the titanium stoves that they made are no longer available. However, the steel line of stoves still live on. Waymark Gear Company, why hast thou forsaken me? You will never see a sign like this for your cat. Will the outdoor gear companies ever rise again? Let's pray for the recovery of the American cottage gear companies. So Waymark Gear Company made several packs. I've got a couple of their 28-liter packs that I use for day hiking, and I got a 60-liter pack. I've never really used it yet, but it was built fairly well. A lot of people online had them. Figure I'd give them a shot. Darwin on a Trail was working with them for a while, but I guess they had some differences in how they approach things. So yeah, the company, from insiders, it sounded like it was going down, and it eventually faltered this summer. Then there's other trends in the gear industry right now, where some places like local Libra Gear, George retired, sold everything to Dutchware Gear Company, so his product will live on. I have some really great Operator Series 50-degree hammock quilts from him. They basically transferred all the knowledge and the tooling for how to do that over to Dutchware, and they're going to make their own little improvements. So sometimes it's not totally a final death for gear companies when they go away. There are some places like Wilderness Logics where owners pass and that's the end of it. Then there's the big vendors, Moose Jaw, their sister site Mountain Steels. They got bought up originally by Walmart, and then they got sold off to Dick's Sporting Goods and are part of the Public Lands brand now. You've got some other sites, Backcountry Gear, not Backcountry, but Backcountry Gear. There's a distinction that they are going out of business, so they just have a handful of things left on their site and they're kind of going under. A lot of the sales vendors, they come and go like the wind, but the companies themselves, if they can last a few years, they're usually doing pretty good. But ultimately with any business, you know, there's trends or cycles, there's costs of operation, and then there's a bunch of foreign competition that pops in, tries to undercut you. So you got to look at all that. What do you value with what you're buying with an outdoor gear product? Do you want to support American labor or European labor or Chinese labor? Do you want the people to have an actual living wage? Do you want slave labor making that? What kind of quality materials do you want? Do you want something that's good and innovative, or something that's just cheap and gets you through the night and you can throw it away? And on some gear purchases, just remember the old adage, he who hesitates is a dang fool. So there have been a few pieces of gear out there that I thought about getting that I just held off on, and I waited. And sometimes it is good to wait, because you will find out if something is really right for you, if you need it, or if it's just a want. But sometimes if you wait too long, those companies go away, and those products are never even seen again in any sort of form in the marketplace. I've had collapsible cups. I've had rapid 1-minute setup tents that when those companies went away, I did not see a similar product like that for a good 20 years before somebody else came up and recycled the idea. So there are some things that if you see them, they seem kind of nichey, you might want to grab them if you think they're going to serve a utility purpose for you. But just like with life, everything you do and everything you get is about choices, and you have to find what's right for you. Now, of course, as I'm walking here through the cemetery, this represents life, represents transition, and ultimately a change to something no more but a memory. Gear companies are the same way. They start off, they have a product, an idea, they spawn that, and it either makes it or it doesn't. The people involved with it help it grow or help it come to its demise. Ultimately, with any company though, it's not going to last forever. Well, sounds like they're coming for me. I better run. No, but this is just a point I want to get across. Check out gear companies. Don't be afraid to support mom and pop businesses. You are going to pay a little more, but you are paying for the quality, you're paying for the labor, you're paying for their time, and you're helping those families support themselves. You're not helping to enrich a foreign government. You're not helping to enrich some mega corporation. You are helping real people that have creative ideas to solve a problem that they've seen that no one else has addressed. So I guess I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to show you a little bit of footage from a photo shoot that my daughter, her friend, and I took out at another cemetery and mausoleum. Well, everybody, have a happy Halloween. Be safe, healthy, happy, and I'll catch you guys again in the outdoors. If you like what you've seen, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, or if not, that's your choice. That's what life is about, choices. So I'll catch you again in the outdoors. As always, thanks for watching.